Welcome back to another episode of Big John's Cooking. Today, we're doing some beef dumplings. Stick around, let's do this. Okay, these are the basics items I'm going to put into my dumplings, beef dumplings that is. I'm not going to use all this beef, but I'm going to chop this up into small dice. We use about half of this onion, probably all of the bell pepper, the celery, add some garlic to that, and salt, pepper, of course. May throw some of that It's Incredible in there just because, because we love that flavor, and always we're going to put some accent in there. So let me get this started and we'll get back. Alright, I'm doing my best to cut these as evenly as possible. I'm going to do them bite-sized pieces. Something reasonable that won't take all day cooking. So about that size, and if you could put them all about the same size, they'll all cook about the same amount of time. So with that said, let's get this done, and I'll bring you back. Okay, we got our meats all diced up. We're gonna go in with some It's Incredible. Get us some of that incredible flavor from Heaven Made Products. Accent. And that should be all it needs. I'm gonna add a little oil to be able to mix this up, just a little bit. We're gonna sear this off in the pan to give this a good mix. See if we can get everything in there seasoned up real good. We're gonna try to brown this real good. Not cooking it all the way because it's gonna boil a little bit in our stock that we got going, along with our veggies. So I'm gonna let this marinate for a minute. Not very long. It's long enough to get our pan to screaming hot, and we move on to that step. Alright, I got my veggies chopped up. I was thinking carrot would go great in this as well, but I don't have one, so I'm not. But it would be a great addition to the flavors. So with that said, I'm gonna saute these vegetables in the juices left from my beef. So let's get that done. Alright, I got my pan on medium to medium high heat. I'm just going to add a little bit of oil to it. Put my meat in just a little bit because I don't want to swim in grease. Set it in a drainer to the side here as I brown each piece off. I know you didn't see me putting the salt and pepper on this because I haven't yet. I'm going to add that as the cooking process goes on, because I already got salt and pepper in my stock, and I'm basically, and also in my dumplings, so I don't want to overpower my dish with salt. So with that It's Incredible, it's got salt in it as well, so I'm just going to sear my meat off, give that a taste as I'm cooking it, and find out where I'm at with my salt content. And then when I add in my other ingredients like my dumplings and my stock and all that as it's cooking, I will sample it and see if I need any more salt. I don't want to rush and just put it all in there and then at the end product have a very salty dish. You definitely don't want that. So with that said, let's get started with browning our meat off. Don't know my own shrimp. Sorry about that noise. That was kind of close to my mic. All right, set that aside. All right, we are definitely hot. I'm not going to overcrowd my pan either, because I definitely want to be able to get a pretty decent brownness on our meat. That's kind of what I'm looking for. The fattier pieces like that, I'm going to let render down a little bit more. So I'll pull most of these out, and then add some more to it. You may have to adjust your heat, because it's definitely pulling the heat out of mine. But as I go along, I'll adjust it up and down so I can achieve the brownness that I want on my meat. I do want some dark coloring on my fat pieces. I'm not looking for any deep coloring on my meat. It's going to cook for a while, and even if I did go for the darker colors, it'll add to the flavors that you have, so you can adjust that any kind of way you want. But basically, it's going to be boiling for a long time, so you got plenty of time to get some flavor into this. And so a little light sear is what I'm looking for, about like that. Nothing too deep. Nothing too extravagant. But you can adjust this any kind of way you want to. Put a darker color, on your meat. Sear it as long as you can cook it all the way done. You can even do this in the oven. Pre-cook this and just shred it up. This is just the way I want mine. All right, meat's brown. I'm gonna go in with our onions. And let that go for a couple of minutes. Everything's kind of mixed together, so we're just gonna go for a hot second. Then we're gonna add our celery in. Go in with our celery and our bell pepper. Yeah, stir and let that saute for a minute. Hit that with just a little bit of salt, just to help that sweat down. I'm adding a lot of garlic there. That's about 2 tablespoons worth. That's going to be some real nice flavor in there, because it smells amazing, so I know it's going to be tasting awesome. We're going to add in a couple of tablespoons of beef base. Just let that mix in well. Just like that. 4 cups of water just to start, and we'll add more periodically as we cook. We're going to let this come back up to a boil, and then we're going to add our meat back in. Alright. Add the meat back in. Let's come up to a decent simmer. And all accumulated juices, because that's flavor. Let that stir, let it come back up to heat. I got it on medium high heat. I'm gonna crank it up to high and let it come back to a boil, and then crank it down and let it simmer until our meat is fork tender. And we'll add some more liquid to this and get our dumplings in. So bring it back when it comes back up to a boil, and then we'll crank it down. Alright, this has been going about 45 minutes. I added 4 more cups of water to this, and it has reduced down to this, which is looking phenomenal. So we're going to add in our dumplings. They've been chilling in the refrigerator, which are looking great. So we're just going to add those in like this. I'm going to let these cook for another 30-40 minutes. Let's get them all in there. See if I'm going to need some more water. Alright, I've turned my heat down to medium. I'm just going to add 2 cups of water to this. And I got all my dumplings in here. Gravy is already thickening up. I'm going to cover it. Set my timer. Check it in about 40 minutes. Alright, end results. This looks phenomenal. My juice is thickening up real nice. The dumplings are tender. The meat is melting in your mouth. This here is delicious. Let me get it bowled up and give it a taste. Definitely worth the wait. Tender, flavorful. This is something that you must try. Forget about the chicken and dumpling. No, don't do that. Just add this to your list of things you like to do and eat. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. Tell a friend about me. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you on the next one.